gather round for your serving of content today. It's time to talk about new raid, quick play, raid improvements, and a sneaky balance patch as well. Listen, this is why I always stall on my stream, guys. I stall doing content for YouTube because you never know. ArenaNet might post some more stuff, and they did with a pretty nuclear balance hotfix right before the monthly AT, so we'll check that out later. But first, of course, we have got to actually talk about the raid quick play systems. Now, quick note as well, there's a stream tomorrow that I will be reviewing, so definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be on ArenaNet's channel on Twitch and YouTube, so be ready. That will be happening. Some big details there. Roy is going to be on the stream, so it's minimum 9 out of 10 stream, realistically 10 out of 10. But anyway, as you can see, raids and strikes. Look, actually, wait. What's a strike mission, guys? I don't know what that is, okay? I don't know what a strike mission is, guys. I only know what a raid and a raid encounter is. But really big quality of life improvements. The TLDR here is that now, finally, you can pick what raid boss you want to start with, or if you want to start with an event, if you want to go that way. You can select any raid you want from all of the, from this UI element here, as opposed to having to go to the individual portal or indeed, you know, find an instance open to get there. Really, really big, of course, really, really big deal. And that includes strike missions. You can see here, Icebridge Saga strikes, and the Dragon strikes, Soto strikes are also in the mix here as well. And of course, the new raid, which, by the way, is gonna be the Fearsome Crab. This is kind of shown here. I thought they actually put a picture at the bottom of the article, but they do not. But it's the Guardian's Glade is the name of the raid encounter, and yet it is going to be the crab. That's why it's being shown here. As you can see, there's also been some kind of teaser artwork of the crab. So I'm actually pretty happy about that, guys, to be honest, because I think the crab was really wasted in the story. You only encounter it very briefly, and then it's not even a world boss or anything, so that was very disappointing. So really happy to see it actually come back as a boss. And you can see here, we can have a little bit of intelligence on what's going on. You can see that we actually have a updraft style mechanic by the looks of that, so maybe you have to go up in the air for some reason. And you can see that there are ads, right? There are actually ads here, guys. You can see that there's some crabs in the background here doing something. Can we actually see? What are they doing in the animation? Actually, let's actually take a look. They're kind of wiggling around a little bit. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that means mechanically. Oh, actually, I think I do. Ah, look at this, guys. You'll notice this is actually an AoE ring here. I'm assuming these crabs actually project some kind of AoE effect by the looks of this, because you can see that there's an AoE centered around this crab. It's slightly weird. It's projecting the texture upwards onto this branch over here, but it looks like these crabs are going to have some kind of mechanical relevancy. You can see the blue arena. So it's like a circle where you have to fight there. But yeah, I imagine these crabs are going to have to be dealt with in some way during the encounter. Who could have possibly seen that one coming? And of course, we have Raid Quick Play as well. Now, Raid Quick Play is really, really cool and very, very exciting. I'm really hoping we're going to have some iteration on it, though, because here's the thing about Raid Quick Play. And this is, I will admit, I don't want to be too much of a downer here, but I am a little disappointed that we do not have any raids in here. You'll notice these are all raid encounters, what we previously called strikes, right? Aethelmid Hideout, Whisper of Jormag, Bone Skinner, Cosmic Observatory, Dagda, Saras, Anka, Old Lion's Court, and Kaineng. So why is that a problem? So the patch that we've got coming up, February 3rd, is going to be the day of the patch, and it doesn't have a new map and it doesn't have a new story, right? And they're doing this because they want to make sure they don't mess up the follow-up patches. Good, right? It's good. Now, this does mean that we have some downtime in the content release schedule. Now, I was fine with that because I'm like, oh, well, actually, this is really cool. We're going to be adding Raid Quick Play into the mix, and that means all of this story content, you know, the really cool raid stories in Spirit Vale, Bastion of the Penitent, Hall of Chains, Mithrite Gambit, and of course, Key of Adashim. Well, most people, like, upwards of 90% of the player base have never touched that, right? They haven't experienced those stories. They haven't experienced those environments, right? That world, that storytelling, which is really good. It's very compelling. And ArenaNet put a lot of work into it. And I was like, oh, well, okay, you know, for your story players, they're going to be able to experience that content in this patch. So it's not going to feel like a big deal that there's a gap in the release schedule for the expansion. And that's why I'm a little bit like, oh, yeah, okay. It would have been real. I'm not saying they have to add all of them, right, into the game at the same time. That's obviously a huge amount of work to rebalance all of that content for quick play and to get it all wired up and scripted, all that kind of stuff. But it would have been really nice if at least we had Wing 1 in here. Now, as you can see here, it is likely, well, I think they probably want to do this because, again, they say at launch that list will include. Like, to me, that implies that they are looking to add additional encounters to Raid Quick Play over time. So that's good. But I would actually really like a confirmation of that as well. I want to explicitly confirm that, yeah, we are going to be adding raids later on to this, because I do think that there's so much great content in Guild Wars 2 raiding, and it's just not played by almost the entire player base because it isn't accessible. And that's what Raid Quick Play is going to be really good for. And you can see here, you basically, here's how it works. You select Quick Play. When the queue completes, you accept the raid. You and your new squad mates will be transported into the raid. Nobody is a commander or a lieutenant, but players can step up if they want to. All players in Quick Play will have an effect applied that provides a moderate bonuses to help groups succeed, regardless of party composition. I'm actually look, I don't like moderate there, okay? Because this stuff, you could actually die to this. I am really hoping this buff is going to be really strong. And also, one thing that is a slight worry for me here is that it sounds like they aren't doing something similar to the Mistranger that kind of did the mechanics for you in a way in Fractals and helped you out. That is a bit concerning to me because unless that bonus is quite strong, I still think that players will potentially die and get stuck here, which is not good. I think that if you have a system like Raid Quick Play, you pretty much want it to succeed every time guaranteed. And you don't want to have any major issues there. So that might need to see some tuning. And also, there's a potential concern I have here actually with actually adding more complex raids. There are some raids that have mechanics, special roles like kiting on Kadim, for example, that are just going to be really hard for groups to do in a quick play environment. That's just not realistic. And I think that's where you would need mechanical modifications and the Mistranger just doing stuff for you in order to pass those encounters, which again, the fact that that isn't here is a little alarming to me because, you know, I do think that raids are going to require some redesigning or design changes in order to make them accessible to completely random players. Because bear in mind, guys, these raid encounters already fail quite frequently in pugs, right? And bear in mind, the people who join pugs are top 10%, honestly better than that. They're top 5% players or better a lot of the time. So if you extend that pug system to everyone else, like the 95% and lower, it is going to be a clown fiesta. Let me tell you that. And yeah, it is true that power creep is insane. Like all of this content is utterly demolished in terms of power creep. You are so overpowered, especially with VOE, that every encounter in the game basically just like flops over at this stage. So that is obviously going to help. But trust me, listen, you guys seen Octovine fail? It can happen. Some wild stuff can happen with the players. Let me tell you that. But yeah, that's the thing here with Quick Play as well. The new raid encounter will not be a part of the Quick Play pool. And you see, yeah. This is still a great patch, by the way, guys. I'm being critical here, not because I want to be a big downer about this, but I really want to push ArenaNet to nail this. Like, VOE is going really well, and is an excellent expansion for Guild Wars 2. So when I see some of things like this, this is bothersome. I really hope they're able to get this in quickly because, dude, with the main like fresh content, like the new content that's coming with this patch is a new raid boss and it's not in Quick Play. Come on, man. Like that is, in my opinion, really unfortunate. That is a bit of a blunder, in my opinion, because again, like you've got VOE, great new system, loving this. Raid Quick Play is amazing, really cool. I love this. It's a great idea. It should have been here ages ago, but we don't have the new encounter in it. That's unfortunate. Again, hopefully they're able to add it very quickly, maybe even a couple of weeks down the line. They're adding a challenge mode to the new raid encounter. So with any luck, perhaps they will be able to add the new raid boss to Quickplay alongside that update. That would be fantastic, I think. I'd be really, really in favor of that. So we'll have to see if they're going to be able to deliver on that. But yeah, Quickplay, good system. UI actually looks great as well for all of this, like the raid selector and so on. This looks really, really good. And you can see the UI for Quickplay, very similar to how the Fractal system works. And yes, now that we're done talking about Quickplay, we can actually go ahead and talk about the new rewards. There's some really cool stuff, actually, for the reward stuff. They're actually adding a mount skin, which, again, is really remarkable. Mount skins and stuff like this, it's almost always cash shop exclusive in Guild Wars 2, so actually adding that to the game is a really, really big deal. I think the stuff they're doing with the rewards here are really exciting, by the way. Everything's a magnetite shard now. We've got daily boss bounties, harder bosses giving more rewards. Everything's still gated. You're getting 1 billion LI now. Like, I think Roy was saying in chat that it's going to be around somewhere in the region of like 70 LI a week, so you can get a legendary armor set in 2 weeks. By far the best way to get legendary armor at this point. It's going to take you 3 weeks in terms of the time gate for that, so amazing for getting legendary armor if that's what you want to go for, because again, previous strikes are going to have LI now. You're going to have weekly bonuses that give you LI. You're going to have quick play bonuses that are going to give you LI as well. And yeah, strikes for raid encounters now have like weekly gated rewards, but you've also got this daily reward as well going on there. So lots of pretty good stuff. 800 magnetite shards a week is also pretty big. You can actually buy a lot of stuff very quickly with magnetite. So it's going to be good for, you know, gearing up characters and easily unlocking cosmetics and stuff like that. And yeah, now this, by the way, is really, really, really interesting here. 3 new raid exclusive rewards, including a new Doom themed Skyscale skin been added. These are not locked behind the same weekly. So this is really important. These are going to be random drops. I'm hoping not tradable, by the way, because I really like stuff that you can't buy on the trading post, because if you can buy it on the trading post, you can buy it with real money. I don't like that. I think it's really cool when a reward is directly tied to a game. You want the reward, you play the content. Yeah, like that's what I like. So, and by the way, a lot of raid rewards do work like that. So in other words, you can, you know, you can unlock stuff from the vendor and then buy skins from the vendor, but you can't buy, let's say, Doom skins until you've beaten Doom, right? Like you have to do the content to get the reward. You can't buy it on the trading post. So this is really exciting. I think exclusive rewards are really, really cool for each individual game mode and different activities. And the fact that this is grindable is really hype, by the way, because this means that, you know, you can just spam Doom, right? Like you can just spam Doom over and over again and potentially grind out this reward, which I think is really, really cool. I think the game actually lacks stuff like that. Like so much in Guild Wars 2 is time gated. It's actually nice to have something that isn't. So you can actually go ahead and grind out some of these new rewards. I mean, we don't know what the other ones are just yet, but I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow. Potentially like an infusion, maybe some other skins that you can get, like some prestige skins and so on. Obviously this mount skin here as well. But yeah, okay, let's actually crank these. What are these numbers? Okay, well, Roy is, okay, let's actually figure out what's going on here with these LI, because I said 70, but let's see what's going on. 28 LI, wait. 28 LI from dailies if you do them all week. So you get 28 LI from daily, 6 LI from the quick play achievement, and 1 LI from every encounter. Wait, that is a lot, actually. So 28 plus 6, and then how many encounters are there? I think there are 30. Yeah, it is gonna be like 70 LI a week. Someone can crunch the numbers, but goodness me, that is gonna be a lot of legendary insights, goodness me. So if you're looking to get, you know, legendary armor, definitely a good time for it. But here's the fun thing, guys, okay? What if you've already got legendary armor? Okay, I'll tell you. Raid God and other new raid achievements have been added, and updates have been made to several wings and encounters to create achievement parity, including mentor achievements for the raid wings that didn't have one. So yeah, obviously, just like Fractal God, this is gonna be a massive dump of raid currency, probably oodles of magnetite, oodles of LI, right? You're gonna be piling in to get this raid God kind of prestige grind long-term achievement. Very cool to see that. And of course, I'm very much hoping it's going to require you to beat all of the content. In my personal opinion, Raid God should require you to clear all content on the highest difficulty. So in other words, Raid God should require you to complete every raid achievements. In other words, you should have to do Ceres LCM, Embodiment of Sin, all CMs and Wing 8, obviously, and so on, and so on, and so on. Actually, dude, I want to drop a suggestion for Roy. I'm gonna drop this, Roy. You should add an achievement for doing Embodiment of Sin on Legendary Mode Ceres, because that is possible, by the way. That is possible. I wonder if he's already done that. I bet he has. He's the kind of guy who would. Okay? But it has been done and it is possible. And Roy should add that to the game. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I had my way, it would be required for Raid God. I would do that. I admit that. That's probably a little bit too extreme. But it would be fun to add, actually. Look, I'm sorry, guys. You want to be a raid god? You got to be a raid god. I'm sorry. You have to. You want hardcore or not, guys? Are you casual? Come on, man. We have VOE like 50 billion K DPS. You'll be fine. Anyway, let's go and continue. But yeah, really cool stuff. I think these reward rates are overwhelmingly positive, actually. Yeah, you can't do raid achievements not in Quickplay. In Quickplay, obviously makes sense. There are some Quickplay specific ones as well. Really fun. Weekly stuff, daily stuff. Very, very nice. And yeah, the new daily achievement category, Raid Boss Bounty, will highlight a raid encounter and raid wing bosses for daily bonus rewards. This is actually so big because a really big problem with Guild Wars 2's pug economy is that people raid on Monday, log out of the game. And also they only play with their statics. And you might think, well, what's wrong with that? Well, the problem is, it means the LFG is completely dead, right? But now that you have daily, are you gonna raid with your static every day? No. You're not, right? Like, and this is how the game used to be. People would raid with their main group and then they'd pug for the remainder of the time. That's become less and less common over time and ultimately has massively reduced the population of the scene. Because if the LFG is dead, new players can't make it in, and that ultimately the scene declines, which it has done massively over the years. And this is in fact a really good system in my opinion for making the LFG more active because it basically gives you an incentive to actually play the game outside of your static group to get this big loot, to farm your legendaries and farm all that stuff. I'm really hoping the rewards are good for this, by the way, because again, I think that it is important to give players big reasons to actually engage with this content, which should be a goal that ArenaNet has. ArenaNet is looking to basically make raid content unified, streamlined, and more accessible to players here. So you have to give players an actual good reason to engage with that. Because if they want to make this content more active, they want to make this content sustainable and continue to see play years into the future, then yeah, it has to be rewarding. And these changes are, I think, going to be aimed at that. So yeah, I've been saying that they should do raid dailies for ages. I'm really glad that they have done that now as well. And yeah, we've even got leaderboards for challenge modes, I think, right? Yeah, look at this. We have raid leaderboards for challenge mode completions. These are similar to those used for adventures. We'll display global top completion times, as well as your own time for raid challenge mode. Would be nice to have it on norm mode as well, to be fair. But I get it, like, kind of keeping it a bit simpler. Having it only on CM, I think, is fine as well. Nothing wrong with that. But yep, that's a big one. We absolutely love to see that. I mean, look, it's a meme at this point. Look, we've got raid leaderboards before fractal leaderboards. Isn't that just the funniest thing ever, guys? Oh man, we absolutely love to see that. Very, very cool indeed. And final detail here as well. We actually have the stream tomorrow, like I said, so stay tuned for that. I'll be watching that here on my channel, so you can watch me react to it, so we can have an infinite recycling of slop. And indeed, patch comes out on February 3rd. And of course, we have the challenge mode for the raid coming out 3 weeks later as well. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. To me, CM's going to be fun, I think. I'll have to actually find some people to play with, okay? Like, I've not really been playing Guild Wars 2 PvE for, honestly, like years now. So we're gonna have to maybe de-rust a little bit, dust off the gaming gloves and put a team together to have a go at that. That's gonna be fun, I think. We'll get to figure out the boss, of course, in its normal form when that patch comes out there as well. But yeah, really cool, really, really cool. Like I think my really key point of feedback here, I really want a confirmation that we are gonna be adding raids. into the raid quick play. I think it is unfortunate that we don't have that on launch. Systemically though, I think it is excellent. Like Fractal quick play was a really big success. I'm loving that. I think it's actually a shame that there's no bonus event too, right? There's no bonus event planned for raid quick play at its launch. That actually feels bad. People love those bonus events, and I actually do think this is also a blunder, because Guild Wars 2 has actually really primed its players over the last couple of years that bonus event means log in. No bonus event means log out, right? Like that's a huge part of ArenaNet's marketing strategy and their player engagement strategy over the last years, and it's overwhelmingly successful. It really, really is. So I do think that not having a raid wing here and not having a bonus event is a blunder. Unfortunately, but I do think that the reward reworks here do make up for that a little bit. Especially I absolutely love that we're getting an exclusive skin, grindable exclusive skin in the game. Again, they haven't confirmed this here. I am really hoping this isn't tradable. So this is actually, you cannot buy this with real money. You cannot buy this with gold. You have to play the game to get it. I love that. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm actually does it confirm that or not? I'm not sure if it does. But I love stuff like that. I'm hoping that all 3 of the rewards are like that. It is saying raid exclusive, which makes me very happy. I think that's great. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff overall. But yep, like I said, I very, very, very much hope that we see iteration on this. I want confirmation that we are adding the new raid encounter to this. ASAP, the giant crab. I want confirmation that we are going to be adding additional raids, the raid wings to the game, because I think they're great story content that I really, really don't want people to miss out on as well. And I hope they also respond to the tuning of the buff you get, and potentially even consider having the Mist Stranger actually do stuff for you, or at least adjusting the encounters a little bit within quick play. The reason for that is if these encounters end up being too difficult and a lot of instances ended up failing and groups disband, that is going to be bad, right? Like we want the system to do really well. We want people to be engaged with the content. And so that, you know, developing raids, developing encounters like this is sustainable for ArenaNet, and that means we need this to be accessible. You should go into this and have like a 90% success rate, very similar to LFR in World of Warcraft or any similar system in other MMOs. This should not be failable. I really, really do believe that's important. Like, raid quick play is for fun, it's for story, it's for role play, it's for a really awesome cinematic MMO boss experience, right? That is what this is for. And you know, it can give you a little bit of a feel for how group content works. You get a little feel for the encounter, maybe give you the confidence to move on there as well. But it has to succeed. It has to be like Freezy or some of the easier strike missions so that, yeah, anyone can get through it. So they need to keep an eye on the tuning for the buff, in my opinion. They need to keep an eye on if they need the Mist Stranger to help out. And certainly if they end up developing raids and so on, then they are probably going to have to do some mechanical tweaks to actually make that stuff work. But overall, I'm feeling very, very positive about this. I think this is pretty good stuff. It's been a long time coming. It really does make me very wistful and sorrowful, in fact, that raids didn't launch like this, because it really could have gone so differently. Like, the biggest problem with raids and why raids died in Guild Wars 2, it's simple. Accessibility. Like, the content was simply unplayable for about, honestly, upwards of 90%. Like, maybe 90-95% of the players just didn't touch this content ever. Which is hilarious if you think about it, because it's so good. Some of the highest effort, best quality content, both narrative-wise and story-wise and visual storytelling-wise, but also in their encounter design and the quality of the content. It's unbelievably tragic that this was not, this didn't release like this. Really, really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate indeed. But yeah, really, really cool. Big fan of this. Big fan of this update in general and raid quick play. I've got to say the reward stuff is super exciting. I just want to once again just reiterate, just, you know, to fully give my support to this type of reward design. I love rewards like this, where you have to, they're exclusive to the game mode. And by the way, not just raids, by the way, I feel the same way about everything. Like, you know, another reward that I really like, it's actually Aurora and Vision. I love the fact that if you want to go and get Aurora and Vision, you need to go and do this quest, right? Every single player, guys, who has Aurora, okay? has collected the Mersat badges. Every single one. Every single one has done Chalice of Tears 3 times, I think. Everyone who has vision has done the horrible, okay, what is it, like meteorite grind to get all of the Kralkatite, right? Or done, like all that kind of stuff. Everyone who has Aurora has got the Druid backpack. Everyone who has done Vision has done the bridge, the bridge defense. True, actually, true. And I love that. I love that these items, they have story to them. They have context within the game, right? And the fact that we have this Doom Sky Scale, as you can see, quite comically having the head of the final death attached to the Sky Scale with some kind of Doom themed stuff. I'm gonna get this. I am definitely getting this, and I will be using it, guys, because honestly, I don't care about rewards at all in most games, because again, like, this is a bit of a tangent, but I think I maybe should flesh out my position on this. I don't use skins really in Guild Wars 2. You can see this with all of my characters. I just like wear whatever. And the reason for that is because, and this is not Guild Wars 2 specific, I actually don't want to call it Guild Wars 2, I want to call it modern gaming. Almost all rewards in modern games have a dollar price on them, right? You can buy them with money in a cash shop, you can buy currency to obtain them, right? This or that or whatever. And for me, that makes it worthless, right? It becomes just pixels, right? Useless. And stuff like this isn't like that, right? Because it actually has context in the game. Like, this thing is not connected to the real world. It's not connected to real money, cash shop, anything like that. No MTX. It's pure gameplay, right? And it's a great skin. It actually looks really cool. It's a really sick skin, and it's pure gameplay. And stuff like this, I just want to really put this out there for any dev watching this in developing any game. I am not engaged by any reward that you can get with real money at all. Like, the moment you can put a dollar price on something, the moment I am just completely disengaged from that reward. This is the only way you can get me to care about an in-game reward at all, is if you cannot buy it with real money. You must play the game. And I just really want to actually praise the dev team for doing this. Like, I think it's important to give credit where it's due. Like, a big criticism of ArenaNet has historically been that they haven't added mount skins to the game. They've been, cash shop exclusive, like, almost all the time. So I think it is really important to give credit where it's due and say, this is great, this is awesome, I love it, and it looks sick. It's not a scuffed skin, it's actually a good skin that has been added to the game that you can obtain by gameplay attached to a piece of content, especially because it's like an old piece of content as well. Like, look, I don't want to get too much copium, guys. Can you imagine if this only dropped on Doom CM? Think of that. What if you had to do Doom CM to do this? See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what I'm talking about. That would be insanely based. I would want to read the red thread. Look, I'm telling you, look, it's not too late to make it work that way. You know what I'm saying? What if it's Doom? What if you have to grind Doom CM to get this? Raid and wardrobe. Oh yeah, dude, they haven't even done, I wonder when are they doing a post about the fashion table? I guess that's next week, actually. Anyway, I'm rambling here a little bit, guys. Okay, we gotta talk about the rest of the news. Basically, Raid Quickplay is good. Needs iteration big time, yes? Needs iteration big time, but I'm liking it. It's looking good. Next, we actually have a little bit of a cheeky balance patch, guys, and some interesting changes here as well. This is right before the monthly AT, and, well, let me tell you guys, after the last patch, Troubadors have been absolutely running amok, let me tell you that. Some devastating DPS builds, actually taking a pretty significant nerf. I think this is mostly targeted at the hybrid build, because there's kind of a crazy build going around. You play Heretic Amulet, so you have healing, and you do damage at the same time. It is gnarly as hell. And I think the goal here is to make that build either not do as much damage or kind of shuffle it out of the metagame at least a little bit. As we have big damage reductions across the board to Lively Loot, Flustering Flute, Syncopate, and Fortissimo as well. Way less stats on Fortissimo. Syncopate damage going down a lot. That's the adept trait that gives you more damage with the drum. You get a second wave on the drum. Flustering Flute damage, that's the F2, big damage reduction there. And Lively Loot, which is kind of like the main throughput ability, I feel like, when it comes to Troubadour. Crazy big damage, especially when you combine it with illusions, right? Doing really, really big damage. That's also going down significantly. Full DPS Troubadour is still going to be excellent, by the way. It's still a really, really good build, but I think this probably nerfs the hybrid build a little bit. You know, never say never when it comes to hybrid Mesmer. I'm sure you guys recall when hybrid Chrono was very, very dominant and was still good. And bear in mind, Spear is still amazing. Your damage output in this build is going to be amazing, but it might end up nudging you away from the hybrid and more over to the power DPS build. So don't worry, if you're a Troubadour player, you're still going to have a really, really strong option. Just you might just not be doing because the reason why I think ArenaNet don't like this and the PvP players maybe don't like it as much is because you play double Heretic Troob in place of playing a support, and I think ArenaNet want to kind of steer it back to playing a support. Either it might be a Paragon, actually might end up being meta right now, or a Luminary. But again, never count out double Mesmer hybrid because it has been very hard to nerf historically. So we'll see if it ends up surviving. Some Evoker nerfs too. Look, the numbers are going down. This spec is still insanely strong. There you go. Like, I could read you the numbers, but it almost feels redundant. The damage on this spec was, to be frank, ridiculous. I honestly do think it was... People are sleeping on it a little bit. It didn't see a crazy amount of play in monthlies. I actually think that's because less people play Elementalist straight up, like in PvP. In general, like particularly on EU. For example, there was one team, Notamelon's team. Notame was just absolutely owning people on Evoker, but there weren't really that many people playing it. Overall. So I think even with these nerfs, this spec is still going to be excellent. It's just going to be a little bit easier to kill because you've got a lower blur duration on your hair's agility. But again, you're still getting a dodge. You're still getting a 1 second invuln. You've still got Obsidian Flesh. You've still got all the super speed. You're still really mobile. You've still got a good heal skill. Your elite skill is still insane, right? Even with an increased cooldown. And your damage is still crazy as well. So yeah, nerfs, but to be frank, completely justified, and you're still going to be good. They also nerfed the Toad Evoker build. So it's going to be a little bit less insanely tanky. This is basically a build where you take the Toad, you have Earth, and obviously you have that immunity to critical strikes because you can keep attuning really, really quickly. Obviously, something with Evoker that you have to be careful of is that because you can attune back to your primary so often, it allows you to just have that massive damage reduction of not being critically struck. Because again, not being critically struck in Guild Wars 2 is a crazy strong ability because of how important damage from critical strikes is against power builds. You basically shut down power builds against you very, very hard with Stoneheart. And if you can have high uptime of that, which you obviously could by swapping in and out of Earth very quickly, that's going to be problematic. Toad Evoker, I feel like it was a build that wasn't necessarily meta. It was more like a build that I saw a lot of people play in ranked. It probably ends up still being pretty good, to be honest, or at least playable, but just obviously toned down quite significantly as you're not going to have that level of uptime on Stoneheart. But Evoker's still excellent, by the way. I actually think slightly underrated in PvP right now, simply because there are just not as many people who are currently playing Elementalist, and therefore less people playing Evoker. But I think Evoker is actually one of the strongest builds to play both in ranked and in competitive play right now. And finally, Antiquary. Okay, the nerfs were not enough, and goodness me, Trig came back for more, and he chose violence. He dropped the hammer. Chuck Shield, barrier, halved. Exalted Hammer, healing, halved. Prot duration, 2 seconds. Hollow Dancer Decoy, 1 second taunt. Scrit Scuffle, elite skill that feeds you artifacts, 75-second cooldown, up by 50%. Magpie's Defense, 1k barrier nerf. Enterprising Aristocrat, 200 barrier, down from 783. And the base, the modifier, down to 0.05. That is apocalypse. Yeah. That is a nuke. That is a nuclear bomb. I actually thought I was watching the Fallout TV show when reading this note. This obliterates the sustain Might force you away from deadly arts. You have to sacrifice damage to maybe get some more sustain with acrobatics instead. Or the build might just struggle now, because this, in my opinion, is a very significant nerf. A lot of sustain nerfs here. You're going to potentially have to sacrifice damage or just be too squishy to live, because again, the way this build works is by being really, really good at surviving 1v2, not dying a 1v2, able to kite, able to pressure, right? Able to win its 1v1s by just like denying so much pressure on the node that they have to concede, right? All that kind of stuff. So this is a really, 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 really big nerf. And bear in mind, there are other excellent 1v1 builds right now. Like Paragon is incredibly strong currently. Thanks to the new changes with fast hands, you can take strength and defense on Paragon, and it's now a top tier 1v1 build, top tier duelist currently. Ritualist is also decent. Like Ritualist basically wins because Antiquary is losing, right? Like Ritualist into Antiquary, not the best, to be completely honest. But now that Antiquary is weaker, like Ritualist is going to be having a better time, I think, actually. Which is obviously nice if you play Ritualist. There you go. I don't know what to tell you. And instantly enough, actually, like Antiquary getting nerfed also makes the other specs better too, because you know you don't have to deal with this, because like with Antiquary was so hard to deal with because almost nothing could handle it in a 1v1. It was just very, very oppressive in these 1v1 environments. And with this nerf, this is going to open up the meta, I think, a little bit. Oh, some of these hot fixes. I do think this build is incredibly obnoxious. I do think that it's interesting to me that we nerfed Antiquary here. I almost do feel a little bit bad for Antiquary, because it feels like Antiquary is getting nerfed, where it, in a way, I'm not sure if Antiquary itself was the problem. It felt like this very specific interaction with Shortbow and the initiative spam and like the choking gas spam was causing issues and was being very, very obnoxious to deal with. There, of course, were other builds. Like you could play Spear Antiquary, you could play also Scepter Antiquary as well. That these were all like, you know, like viable options. So maybe they wanted to kind of get them all in one go, I guess, and just, you know, just nerf everything at the same time. But we'll have to see if it works out. I do want to be clear, when I talk about like, oh yeah, the spec got hammered, I am talking about in competitive play. I think this build will be honestly completely fine in, say, a ranked context. You will still be able to meme people with your rat wizard. I wouldn't worry about this, but this is a very hefty nerf when it comes down to surviving that +1 and also being capable of pressuring very aggressively in a highly competitive environment. So I think that in competitive play, Antiquary has been nerfed significantly, but again, like for kind of like general play, that's way less relevant in the ranked context. Same with all these nerfs, really, of course. Like everything is super strong right now. Like, in fact, I don't think there's even a single class that's bad currently. Like I'd say NG is maybe struggling a little bit. Its best build is Antiquary, is Amalgam, and Amalgam did get nerfed quite significantly actually in the previous patch. It is still, of course, playable, but I think every other profession actually has like a very nice build currently. Like Ritualist is good, Luminary is still really good, Paragon is really good, Evoker is really good, Troubadour is really good, Conduit, especially after these nerfs, is going to be absolutely popping off. Conduit's going to be looking really good at the same time. Gale Shot is very good in ranked as well, but it is a little bit tricky. It can get shut down a little bit in competitive play, but you know, again, whatever. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh yeah, Hollow. Yeah, Hollow's decent actually. Hollow is actually decent in PvP actually. It's decent for sure. But yep, that's basically a little bit of a hotfix change there as well. We absolutely love to see that, and I guess that is going to just about wrap things up. In fact, for today's serving of YouTube slop. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I basically, I went into my gaming cave and just, you know, I streamed every day in 2025, and I thought, you know what? I deserve a little break. I've just been grinding, playing some video games for the last 2 weeks. You know, actually playing games off stream. How crazy is that? And well, you'll be seeing a lot of very exciting content to come soon as well. I've got a lot of videos planned actually. Some of them are pretty spicy, so stay tuned for all that stuff. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to come back and watch every single day. Okay, stay tuned for big content, big streams. Of course, I'm going to be streaming the ArenaNet stream tomorrow. about Raid Quickplay. There's probably news about fashion templates. Hopefully next week. I really want to hear about that system. Please be account-wide. Don't monetize it. Character ad. Please, ArenaNet, don't do this to me. And of course, I'll be streaming big time when the patch goes live because there's almost certainly going to be drops, guys. We know the drill at this point. New patch drops. And you know what that means? You guys feast on all those drops from this stream. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. The slop is complete. Stay tuned for more content. Come back and watch every single day. Leave comments, like, subscribe, watch my stream on YouTube, watch my stream on Twitch. Okay, buy the game using my referral link. Buy 15 copies, all the Ultimate Edition. And that's going to do it for now, guys. I'll see you next time. Boom. Shout out to YouTube.